I see you shiver with anticipation.
But it's not my place to judge why people like a weird thing. I never do that.
Then what are you for?
Treachery to intellectual integrity.
Drooling, blithering idiots.
Absolute moral chaos.
What the is wrong with you? What the What I'm saying is the planet's on fucking fire.
Patient.
Life is chaos of nothing.
Life is sacred.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we got a special episode of the freaking Deviant in the middle of the goddamn night because we just came back from watching
Joker. We saw Joker.
opening night. Yeah, it was fucking amazing. Oh, by the way, my name is Spider.
And I'm Alexander.
And this is the Freak and the Deviant episode, negative 24.
Yeah.
25 episodes so far. We are having a lot of fun with this. This has been an amazing
Yeah, and thank you guys very
thrill.
much for listening and watching.
Absolutely. Our numbers went back up. We started losing hope a couple of weeks ago that the numbers were
I
all the
never
way
had
down.
it to begin with, honestly.
Well, it looked like people were losing interest in listening to us, and somehow we bounced right back up to where we started. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for
really
listening.
thank you guys very much for listening. Thanks for joining us.
Sorry about the weird schedule today. This is not the way that we planned it. But last second,
plan things?
Well, yeah, that's the problem. I'm very bad at planning shit. I straight up bought the tickets for the Joker opening movie.
When was your first son born?
Wait, what?
Nothing, never mind.
Oh, we're gonna play that kind of shit.
Yeah, I'm going to play that game.
Fuck. All right. Anyway, I have to start this thing right here. Sorry, but yeah, I bought the tickets for the Joker opening movie, and it was like IMAX tickets, kind of pricey, and it's like
There was no one there.
it was like nobody there, so I didn't really have to buy the tickets ahead of time or anything like that. But basically, last second, I just kind of texted you like, "Hey, you want to join?" Just like, "Yeah, we're doing a podcast now, right?" I'm like, "All right, I did schedule it for tonight."
Mm-hmm.
So I double booked, and that's why we're late as fuck. So sorry.
That's fine.
But
This is fine.
yeah, and our listeners, you won't notice a difference because it's
Yeah, if it is a little bit of a weirder podcast where things are kind of disjointed, it is very late where we are right now, and
yeah, it is 1:50. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's 1:50. Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
1:50.
Middle of the goddamn night.
Quite
yeah.
early in the morning.
But yeah, quite early in the morning, and I got a meeting in the morning too, so it's gonna be awesome. Cheers,
excited.
everybody! I'm drinking some whiskey here. How was the movie? Amazing.
It was good. We're gonna talk about it more next week, so we give people
Yeah.
time to see it.
Oh
We're
yeah,
gonna
so
we're gonna have
spoiler
people-
alert! Next week we'll go into detail about what we saw in that fucking movie because whew,
So if you haven't seen it,
beautiful.
go ahead, see it.
Come
all
on
of this
tonight.
stuff. Come back next week, and we will be discussing the movie. Give people a chance to really go see it.
Yeah, so we can actually decompress and kind of take everything in. There were so many details in there that I have so many doubts about. It's so fucking weird.
Yeah, but we'll be talking about the movie next week.
Yes, movie next week. For tonight, what do you got?
Well, I had a couple things. I actually had a little bit of a request from someone that I know about stalking.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah. It was really, really strange, actually. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about stalking tonight, as well as some other stuff. I'll get into that later. I have some hopefully decent segues, assuming I don't get derailed.
I'll try my best to segue you into. Oh wait, what about?
Good joke.
What about panty?
It's a I guess anime that's called Panty and Stalking, as in panty, as in like socks,
Gotcha. Socks.
as in really long socks.
Oh, but yeah. So I actually kind of have a segue into that story that I was trying not to. I'm obviously not gonna drop names in here, but there's a story about a friend of mine that received a sex tape of themselves from an anonymous account. But only one person has that fucking thing. So why is the point of using an anonymous account?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is a form of stalking, and I don't. It's also curiously illegal. There's a legal borderline that I'm very curious about because apparently they went to the police, and the police said, "Well, since you're in it, it doesn't really count as," because the law just changed in Texas, where unsolicited dick pics are a crime now. right? But an unsolicited sex tape where you're also in it, apparently that might not hold up. Which fucking weird.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
And there's another law for revenge porn, but that's only if you publish it. So it's not the same as it's so fucking it's infuriating. Anyway, I hope you like my puns. I've been stocking up. I got that one.
Ah, it's a good one. It's a good one. It was a good one. Yeah, so I was going to talk a little bit about that today. I had some other things written down that probably will or will not be talked about as we are moving forward.
Sorry, you want me to say something? I started looking at your phone. Huh?
Ethics.
Oh, what the fuck? Okay, that's a word I don't use very often. What do you mean by ethics?
We kind of hinted at it a little bit.
We've talked about morality. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, that's morality.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk a little. I wanted to talk a little bit more about morality, and more specifically, other people's moralities.
I've always so that's one of those weird things for me. Like, should you live by the morality of somebody else when you're in their domain? For example, you're in my house. You shouldn't do anything that I consider wrong.
I will definitely take a shit on your bed.
Please don't. Honestly, I don't consider that wrong. Just please don't.
I mean, you said please.
I'm begging you, please don't do that. There's a lot of cleanup.
I know. You know I'd help you clean up, too.
You ever had sex with someone under period and not know it until the lights come back on and it's an art piece?
Yeah, and it looks like a murder scene.
I know that Penn Jillette once told a story. I think it's one of his books that he was having hot sex in a car, and when it turned light on, they were both like their faces like they thought it was sweat. So they'll like feel something liquid, and they just kind of wipe their faces and stuff, and
they're both covered
in blood. Yeah, they had no idea.
Yeah, been there, done that. I mean, it's completely natural, and of course, you never get. If you get mad at your partner for not knowing that they're on their period, it's like, really? Come on, that's not
silly.
That's silly. I know some people who do get mad, and I was like, are you serious? Like,
how do you? We
it's literally a paper towel away from being not an issue. Like,
that's the good way to put it.
Like,
it's a paper towel away.
Like, it's really not that big a deal. Come on.
How do you feel about the squirters? Have we talked about this?
No, we haven't talked. I don't think we've talked about squirting.
I remember seeing some porn where like they had to fuck in the bathtub because he squirts too much. Oh, and then there's a fucking video. It's on. I think I found it on Pornhub, but I think there was another website that is like porn. What do you call it? Their mistakes, like bloopers.
Yeah, porn bloopers. I love porn bloopers. They're so funny.
They're having a photo shoot for a magazine, I assume, where there's actual penetration, and she's a known person that like squirts a lot, right? So like she's posing with a dick in her, but they're not having sex. There's a dick inside her, but there's no movement. They're trying to stay still so they get the best quality pictures. And at some point, he just kind of like moves a little too much forward, penetrates a little too much, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And she starts saying words to throw herself away from the from the orgasm.
Yeah.
She's trying to say like baseball and other words. I don't know what it was, but
Margaret Thatcher on a cold rainy day.
Yeah, she started saying some of the weirdest shit, just trying to get herself from coming. And like you can see this. It's like towel, give me a bucket, something. And she's about to squirt everywhere and ruin the whole fucking set for the shoot.
Oh my god,
that was fascinating to me. This is because it's like, what the fuck? I can't imagine like that kind of situation. That is not sex. Right? It's a professional setting, and you're not supposed to come because you're gonna make a mess.
I have dated some squirters.
We got
I will not name names.
Bodily fluids are gross. People are dumb. Poopers for short. Poopers for short. Okay. Wait, no, that's a different thing. What is he talking about?
Why do you keep reading these comments?
I was curious. I thought something interesting might come out of that. Poopers. Porn bloopers. Oh, I see. Poopers for short. That's stupid. That's a bad joke. I'm sorry, dude.
So, yeah. I did a squirter once.
And?
Clean up.
How was it?
Clean up. Okay, so to be fair, she didn't know she was a squirter.
That's actually, I've had that situation where like
She'd had
there's a
several
mess afterwards,
partners.
and did you know you squirt? I was like, nope, that's never happened before. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's where you look at yourself in the mirror and give yourself a thumbs up.
Yeah, that means that I did such a good job, right? That's what that means. Or maybe she was so into it. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. All you know is that whatever you did, you got a response out of it, and it was hopefully a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad jokes make me squirt.
Bet. Do they? Well, it's okay. First of all, good time jokes make me squirt water in the wrong place of my trachea.
Where are you going with this?
Dude, I don't know.
Okay.
Do I look like a guy with a plan?
No.
See what I did there?
Yeah, and the cleanup. Honestly, the first time it wasn't so bad, but the second time I made sure to bring towels. Bring towels.
So you were prepared for a squirt. The thing is, I mean, beds absorb things quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know if you dropped the soda in bed before, but there's no cleaning that shit up.
To be fair, it
it's
wasn't
in
my
there.
bed.
Oh, that's fair.
It was not my
Can
bed.
you put like a piece of? I'm picturing like a shower curtain.
I used
So nothing
a
absorbs.
one of those large black plastic bags you use for leaves.
And like rip it.
Yeah, and then I ripped it and then put that down and then put towels down. In some of the places, yeah.
People do plastic line their beds. That's a thing. Do they?
Yeah,
For what?
it's a thing.
For blood or for just
All
for not
sorts of
squirting?
stuff. There are like bed covers that are like slightly more plastic. They're meant to actually keep your bed from absorbing all sorts of
Yeah,
stuff.
actually, my Sleep Number came with one of those. And like, if you had that, you had like a warranty for 10 years. Except that bed was 12 years old when I threw it away. That's like this year. What do we got to do? You can get medical bed linings for people who can't hold it in. Oh, I did not know that. People use that for sex too. That makes sense. I can see that. I never thought about it, but that's interesting.
I remember one time we were doing it and she was going to squirt and got it on the wall. And I was like, well,
I need you to give me more details. What position resulted in squirt on the wall?
well, okay, so
Does it glow on the black light?
I have no idea.
I'd be so proud of that design.
I mean,
Because I like put a black light on.
Should
and
we
you see the
look that
squirt, and
up?
I'm like, that was this one night at band camp that this shit went down. Was it when she squirted, it hits the fan and it goes everywhere.
when the squirt hits the fan. Oh, that's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt.
That's a
When the
t-shirt.
squirt hits the fan. Oh, that
we
is
should do it.
that is a t-shirt in the
Art.
making.
A-R-T.
Yep, art.
Oh god, when the squirt hits the fan. That's perfect. We got that's definitely a design that we can come up with.
Oh yeah.
That yeah. I don't know, something about me, like I just thought of the Universe song where they have that weird animated birth happening.
Yeah, the animated
That's what
birth.
came to mind, like when I thought about
That's
that.
Monty Python.
Monty Python. Was that like, I think my girlfriend just caught you with that one?
Yeah, she got me with
She
the-
was like,
with
if
the
I'm a
Monty
witch,
Python.
shouldn't I float like a duck?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh shit! Dropping Monty Python references. Jackson Pollock, Eat Your Heart Out. Is it funny? Is it bad that I only know that name from the Guardians of the Galaxy? Because he talks
Yeah, that
about,
is a little bad. I don't know
I'm
who
supposed to know
Jackson
that's an
Pollock
artist,
is.
and I had to
Yeah.
look it up because of the movie. And I'm like, oh, okay, so there's an artist that does that. All right, makes complete sense. Speaking of artists, you know what's funny? This connects to the Joker directly. In the original Tim Burton Jack Nicholson movie, they're into an art museum and they start destroying art. Right? Start painting faces on things, and like I think that some guy put like paint on his hand, just. And at some point, there's a painting that looks really dark and messed up, and there's a dude that's about to stab it, and the Joker just like, oh no, I like this one. That artist is the artist that Heath Ledger was looking into to design his makeup.
Oh.
That is a beautiful reference. I forgot the name of the artist, but like that's something that was completely accidental. Like, no, you know what I mean? Like Heath Ledger was looking for particularly weird art that would inspire his makeup to look dark and weird and greedy. And I think Christopher Nolan is the one that gave him some paintings by this artist, and some people did the originals like, hey, there's a painting by that artist in the original Batman movie, and the Joker liked it and he didn't want to destroy it. It was just fucking beautiful. Anyway, I love Joker trivia, man. I like that. Oh, which is funny. We were watching the trailers, and before the movie started, there's a trailer for the new Star Wars movie, and we just hear Mark Hamill's voice. And
Yeah.
I was like, get it, Joker.
Yeah.
And at some point,
some people
he
don't-
laughed. There's a laughter by Mark Hamill at the laugh. Like, oh my god.
A lot of people don't know Mark Hamill. Yes, the guy from Star Wars.
It's Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker actually played the animated Joker in the Batman the Animated
Yeah,
Series.
he was the voice. And I recently found out that he was the second choice to play that character because the first fucking option to play the voice of the Joker right after coming out of a very famous movie from an evil clown was
Tim Curry. Yep, Tim Curry.
Tim Curry right off of the Pennywise role from the It movie was offered the gig for the Joker the animated series for Batman. And apparently he had like bronchitis or something, and he just had to turn it down. So they went with their second choice, Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, and that's the story of the. Can you imagine though if the Joker was voiced by Tim Curry to this day? Like that was the that was the voice that you had in your mind.
I mean, to be fair, it's not a bad voice because you probably would have made it higher pitched.
Probably. And again, most voice actors do weird shit
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
He has voiced animated characters.
Yeah,
Was he
he's-
like a piano in like the Beauty and the Beast?
You know, he was the organ.
Organ.
And he was also the in Fern Gully. He was the Smog. I forget the name.
Yeah.
And then he's done all sorts of stuff. He shows up everywhere.
Yeah, that dude. Is he alive?
No,
Damn.
I don't think so.
Tim
Pretty
Curry.
certain he's dead.
I'm gonna look
that up.
I'm gonna look that shit
look
up.
that up.
It's kind of mean to
I
just
know
say
he
it.
I know he had some severe medical issues at some point and he was unable to walk, and then I don't remember what happened after that. Yeah, he's dead.
How do you know?
I'm fairly certain.
Oh, you're fairly certain.
Oh no, he's still alive.
Yeah, years active, 1968 to present. Active implies the dude's still doing things.
Is he?
That's interesting. Where's IMDb?
I was completely
IMDb
wrong.
now. Because if he's still working on a project, I need to know what it is. You know what Robin Williams' last role was? People thought it was because around the time he died, a movie came out with him, which the World's Greatest Dad, where like his son committed suicide in a very similar way than he did, by the way, which I thought that was fascinating. But the last role he was a dog in a movie called Absolutely Everything by Simon Pegg.
Oh yeah, I
Where
remember
it's basically
that one.
like the British Bruce Almighty. And what's glorious about that is the storyline's a little bit different. There's no god that gives him powers, but there are aliens who are trying to destroy the planet, and they decide that the test to whether or not to destroy the Earth is to give a random person unlimited powers, which ends up being Simon Pegg. The voices of those aliens, Monty Python.
Yeah, our Monty Python. I remember that.
Ah, so
I didn't
fucking...
really do very well, did it?
Huh?
I don't.
No, that movie didn't really make it very far. But again, it's pretty much Bruce Almighty with British people. A little goofier. And then without
'cause
Jim
Morgan
Carrey,
Freeman
it's just
wasn't
not the
in
same.
there.
Yeah, without Morgan Freeman, you can't do that. Did you hear that Morgan Freeman, people think that is Jimi Hendrix still alive? They look
No.
very similar.
Really?
Jimi Hendrix, if you put pictures of Jimi Hendrix with Morgan Freeman, it looks like an old Jimi Hendrix.
Wow.
It's
I didn't know
very
that.
creepy. Tim Curry, let's see what he's up to now.
I thought he died.
I would have sort of. He was old as fuck last time I saw him. When he was in the remake of the Rocky Horror, have you seen that?
Yeah.
He looked pretty old. Like he looked like he's on his way out. But let's see what his projects are. I gotta zoom this shit. It's fucking tiny.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can't see any of that.
So okay, so filmography. It seems like the last thing here is King Cobra and Tin Men from Wonder Pets. It's a TV series.
Okay.
I don't know what that is. Rocky Horror, Leslie the Warp. Yeah, so he's
Yeah, so he did the movie in 2016. I thought he died shortly after that. Apparently, I was
Interesting.
completely wrong.
that's crazy. That dude's gonna live forever, man. What the fuck? Yeah, I was certain that dude was dead too, because it's been a while. But yeah, it looks like the most recent project he's done was 2018, so last year. So he's probably done. This is active, but I guess a year of not acting doesn't necessarily mean you're done acting. You might still be taking roles or like working on something. So that'd be interesting. What else? I completely lost my train of thought. What do you think of the remake for the Rocky Horror?
I've
they
not
use
seen it all the way through.
Oh, did it piss you off or something?
No, I just wasn't able to have time.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
We should probably like watch it and react to it and just post the full movie. No, we can't post the full movie.
No,
can
you
we?
can't post the full
So we
movie.
have to put like clips of us just reacting.
If we could do like an entire thing where we just like throw that up on the YouTube.
Yeah, just like have one like we should like when we have the time.
Yeah.
We should have like a movie night where we watch the movie. I don't know how to like not show the movie to them, but like us reacting and people can watch the movie at the same time. Kind of thing.
I don't know.
I don't know if
Maybe
it's
have to look into
possible. I mean, people do it with video games. I don't know. I just think we need to do kind of like the what is it 3000 mystery whatever the fuck it's called mystery theater.
Oh yeah, Mystery
Where
Theater. Yeah,
the whole entertainment value is that they're watching a shitty movie and then just destroying it. Mm-hmm. Just like let's fucking look at this. I do that with good movies, by the way. It could be the best movie
We do
ever.
that with every movie.
Yeah, I'll still fucking talk shit about it. This is an interesting thing to do. But we should definitely watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space and Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Is in my
Attack of the
list.
Killer Tomatoes. Yeah,
It's in my
definitely.
list of shit to criticize live because I've never seen them and I know they're like popular B movies.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we've already seen The Room, so you know
We should definitely have a room party live on Twitch.
Oh yeah.
Like have people over.
Yeah, have people over
do
and
the
actually do an
spoons and
entire
explain
thing.
the whole thing ahead of time. It'll be fascinating.
Are you on your phone in the middle of the podcast?
I am. Somebody's asking me how to watch it. So it's about the podcast.
Fine, I guess I'll allow it this once.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, so I guess we'll talk about, let's get into the at least one of my subjects. We'll get into stalking.
Stalking.
Yeah, so,
Which the Joker did. I shouldn't talk about this. That's not a major point, right?
no, but you shouldn't talk about it anyway.
I really shouldn't. Sorry.
Yeah, no
I'm
more.
like... I'm so
We can
Jokered
talk
up
about it
today.
afterward. We can talk about it afterward.
Sorry. We haven't had a chance to like...
No, we went from there to here.
Yeah, from the movie theater here and start filming because we wanted to get out of the way as soon as possible.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't expecting you to be like, "Hey, come on, I got tickets." And I was like, I have issues. Okay.
It says, I had to look up paint splatter art origin on Google.
Yeah, to get Jackson Pollock.
Oh, okay.
You're just not reading that?
Sorry, I didn't get to it. I was distracted. That's that little face right there. Is that American Psycho?
No, I don't think so. I think it's some other dude.
Okay. That looks like that guy. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So, stalking. Have you ever been stalked
On Facebook, yeah.
on Facebook?
Not physically, but
Not
not
physically.
At least not that I know of.
I mean,
I'm not that interested in like in regular life. I think I have a public life that people find interesting, I guess. So I've had people. This one time, it's funny because Facebook is fascinating. So somebody finds my Facebook randomly for some reason or another. Like I pop on a common friends or some shit, and I guess my profile picture is interesting enough to just click it and go through pictures. Mm-hmm. And I have had like random in the middle of the day kind of thing, just like 20 different likes on different pictures of me. And like I clicked the person who kept like, cause I kept getting notifications like this person, like this, and I clicked the guy who's not even my friend.
oh,
So I was like, what the fuck? Did you just follow my fucking profile, started liking shit? I don't know you. So that's a little creepy. It's happened multiple times. Someone just finds my profile, start clicking like good pictures of me. Sometimes at parties somebody takes a decent picture and I look very artistic. Yeah, I paint my face a lot. So
art.
So yeah, that's what is that? It's probably some Twitch streamer.
The face.
Oh, you just picked the face. How did you even put a face if you don't know who it is? Did you just put face and see what happens?
I mean, why not?
I get it. I don't know. So anyway, stalking. Oh shit, I forgot about that's fucking trippy. In the middle of a sip, that's fascinating looking.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, so stalking is a thing. So it is illegal, obviously.
You know, there's a Netflix show about it. It's called Her.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't.
I recommend it. It's well done. It's very strange, but it's about a dude obsessing with a girl, and like he stalks her to the point that he knows her well enough to know what to do to get her to like him, and ends up dating her. And then at some point he starts sort of protecting her by like killing her friends that are poisonous, like people that are actually toxic. He kills them, and it's like part of you is like, he's kind of trying, like he has the good a good reason to do it, I guess. But it's kind of fucked up way around it.
Please tell me he poisons them.
Oh no, he like throws someone off a bridge and shit. Like it's.
Oh, it would have been funny if he killed the toxic people with toxic stuff.
Oh, that's a good one actually.
Yeah, I had no idea about that. Yeah,
This is something that, like I have this. Well, currently from some of my friends, I'm going through this weird process of like, I hate when an ex-boyfriend or an ex-girlfriend keeps looking up their exes to keep up with their lives, especially after they have been blocked.
oh,
That's a whole thing. There's a whole section of stalking that happens a lot on Facebook, where I have seen people end a relationship and have to block everybody that's common friends because they'll screenshot it and send it to the other person. Especially when there's some shit talking or they moved on and they started dating someone else and it's like, I don't want the person to know, and it's very toxic, and I see that happen a lot. Which is I don't know how to feel about that, because that's wrong, right? In every way, that's just wrong. But like, what is there to gain to pursue looking at someone who no longer wants you?
Power over the individual.
Is that the thing?
I mean, that's the first thing that I jumped to.
Interesting. Because like, my other thing is, there are people who get dumped, and then they want to try to gain them back, or I think that's even the terminology they use. Like, I want to win them back. And I'm like, I never understood the concept of wanting to be with someone that doesn't want to be with you. You know what I mean? If they break up with you, they're telling you, I don't want to be with you. Why would you still want them? That seems very like rapist-like, right? You want someone and they don't want you back. It doesn't matter if you want me back, I still want you.
I mean, when someone leaves, I agree with Chocolate. Yeah, I think a lot to do with your identity being built around the other person. So, like, if they leave...
That's a poisonous trait to begin with.
I mean, yeah, but if they do that and they leave, they feel like they will be reclaiming a portion of their identity.
So people
That's to them what they think. I'm not saying it's right.
Speaking of the devil. So we're talking. Hi, Morgan. This is a friend of mine that's also going through a breakup. Yeah. So people that you're not supposed to build a personality trait around someone else, right? Would you agree that's not a safe, like that's not a healthy thing in a relationship?
Yeah. No. You definitely.
You should know who you are before you jump into a relationship.
How about this? Your support beams should not be individuals.
Ah, that's a good way to put it. It should be yourself.
You can have people that can support you, right? But you should be able to support yourself, right? People are not your support
emotionally,
beams.
not necessarily
emotionally,
economically, because some people.
I mean, yeah, but that's what I'm talking about here is emotional, right?
Yeah.
If you are leaning on someone that much, and that will cause them to buckle. Like, that's a lot. I've been there. I've definitely been there.
This is on Daniel Sloss's bit, right? Where they subsidize their own, like, some health, like mental health, to now it's that person's job. So if I have like anxiety, depression, it's your job to keep me from whatever the fuck, like anxiety attacks and shit like that. It's like, you have to know how to handle that.
Boy,
like,
have I lived that.
Yeah, so have I, actually, multiple people, and even not necessarily relationship with friends that go through that kind of shit. I was like, fuck. There's a whole other group of friends of me that disassociate or claim to, I guess, I don't know. But it's one of those, like, you need to kind of know how to talk to them, because apparently if you just tell them stop it and do, you know what I mean, you fuck it up more. And it's I don't know, but in my opinion, that's something you sort of that should be within yourself to kind of know how to treat yourself.
Yeah, and
it's when your partner doesn't know how to handle it, it's not their fucking fault.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things, like, if you are someone else's in, like, core support, that is not okay. Like, you don't need to be someone's core support.
Yeah.
Like, you should be you should support each other in a relationship, but you should be able to support yourself.
That was some basic ass shit that just went down. You know what? I saw this post on Facebook that it screamed poison to me, and you tell me what your opinion is. This guy posted. It was something like. It was like a list of things he's done for his ex, and in a very passive aggressive way, saying, "I'm the only one who would do this, right? So it was something like, I wonder if he treats her the way I treat her. I wonder if he brushes her hair the way I do. I wonder if he cooks for her the way I cook for her. I draw her a bath when she needs it.
Couple opinions initially. I would never brush someone else's hair. I'm terrible at it, and I rip out your hair.
No, not brushing. It was something like doing this kind of thing.
Petting,
petting, whatever.
Did you just pet my hair? That's so sexual.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Your hair is extremely smooth, dude. I just
you.
noticed that you like condition it.
I do. Thank you for noticing.
But
I also condition my beard hair. This is my beard condition.
you condition it? Oh, that's still
Yeah.
still feels like pubes.
Yeah. You want to know what happens if I don't condition it? It's terrible.
I mean, it's terrible now, so I can only imagine it's gonna get worse.
Yeah. It's like a dense dark forest that eats things. It will.
Isn't that life?
Like, I cannot run a brush through it at all, otherwise it
my
will just
God.
get stuck. Oop, I hit the mic there. Oops, sorry. Sorry, everybody.
Sorry for the pop on the microphone, but yeah. So okay, a few things. When somebody posts, I wonder if she's getting what I gave her. That's not terrible. Right, but when you get very specific, like he at some point mentioned a particular, like I don't know if it was anxiety disorder or something, that he just dropped that shit in there. Like, dude, now you're saying like personal stuff about someone, and it's becoming now you're claiming specifically that you're the only one that would do this for that person.
Yeah, you're getting pretty kind of creepy there. Like,
yeah, and I commented, like, my first comment of that was like, that screams manipulation in so many levels. Because it's a common tactic of a breakup, where they're like, "Well, where are you gonna get what I give you?" You know what I mean? You're never gonna get someone like me. I've seen a dude straight up say, "I'm the full package. Where are you gonna find another one?" They're like, "Wow, dude, this is exactly why you should be dumped."
Yeah.
This is like a.
Where are you gonna
I've
find
seen
another one?
so many
Down the
guys-
street, literally anyone else.
Fucking anyone. Oh man, that's a long thing. You want me to read that?
Oh, yeah. So Stephen Cartman, MD, developed a triangle of drama consisting of the victim, rescuer, and persecutor. People who get into codependent relationships tend to move within these positions in situations in their life.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Seems to be pinning himself into a victim when he willingly placed himself in the rescuer in the past. Wow, that's an interesting analysis. And that's an actual common, like, that's what been researched.
Yeah, I mean, Stephen Cartman, MD. That sounds pretty official to me.
That's a doctor, yes. Fascinating. I did not know that. So this is an actual thing within psychology that people put themselves in a position and they switch positions from a rescuer to a victim.
In codependent style relationships.
Yeah. And I've seen this so much. Someone is like, "Oh, I saved you from this and I saved you from that. Now you owe me a relationship." And I have this tendency of pointing out. You're one of the few friends that actually have the balls to straight up tell me, "I don't feel like doing that." Right? "Hey, you want to go watch blah, blah, blah?" Like, "Nah, I don't feel like that." You know what I mean? Karaoke party? "Nah, I don't feel like doing that." And you will straight up tell me, or "I have to work. I haven't slept in 10 hours." You know,
yeah, I'll tell you exactly what's up.
I got a date, something.
There's no use lying to you.
Yeah,
like, there's
you're
no
the
reason.
most honest friends I have
reason.
that straight up tells me exactly
if I
what's
don't
going on.
want to do something, I'm not going to do it.
But I have so many people that will make up an excuse or apologize for not being able to. And I'm like, you don't owe me coming to visit me. You know what I'm saying? But especially girls. Because there are girls that I'm intended to take on a date or something, and they cancel or change plans or something.
That likely due to
I'm
the fact
so
that
sorry.
Yeah.
And life happens. It's not like people are waiting to date me. That's not a thing. You know what I mean? So I understand when life happens, some shit goes wrong, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry that I can't make." Like, dude, don't be sorry. Like, I don't. It's not. I'm not. That's the omega male trait right there. Of I don't give a shit. I'm not competing for anything. You don't owe me.
We don't need to compete
anything.
here.
Yeah, no. It's if I get nothing, I'm still okay with my life, because I guess it's kind of important.
Again, that's using that core support thing. Is that you don't
I have my own.
You have your own support.
You
have a spine.
Is that what you call it?
It's your core support right there. Your spine.
We got some more quotes here. What does that say? I'm a nice guy, rescuer, and you keep going. I just read that. I just read that like a Trump tweet.
Yeah. So I'm a nice guy playing the part of the rescuer, and you keep going for assholes, persecutor. Why won't you date me? Thing. So that is kind
the
of
nice
how
guy,
that.
syndrome
That's
thing.
kind of how that develops.
That drives me insane. Because
I mean, I don't get it.
I mean, you know what's funny? I understood that recently with my son, because I went to his class and I just kind of shadowed him, and so he gets really upset if he doesn't get called out. When it's like, you gotta come to the board, like raise your hand if you want to go, and you have to write the word blah 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 blah, or the date, something like September blah 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 of 2019. Like they have to write it and say what day of the week it is, the whole thing, right? And my son is extremely smart, and he knows the answer. I know he knows the answer because I've heard him say those fucking things. And he's like, me, and he doesn't get chosen. And another kid goes up there and misspells September, even though it's spelled on top of the space he's writing on. And like, how do you misspell something that's written in front of your fucking face? I have no idea. My son would never fuck that up. I don't understand. You're copying the letters on top of, you know what I'm saying? And again, I saw my son throw a fit because that kid got it wrong. And it's like, how can I have the answer? I'm raising my hand and you're not picking me. Well, that asshole gets it completely wrong. And I'm like, I know that feeling. This is, you know,
I mean, it's one of those feelings.
Like, I've had girlfriends like that turn me down, and I'm not butthurt or anything, but then I see her date a fucking idiot, and I'm like, I offered that one thing that guy fucked up, but this, you know, but that's none of my business.
But that's none of my business. Yeah, I don't.
And I killed my whiskey.
Why would you kill it?
I mean, I finished my glass. Damn, what? I would never kill whiskey. Whiskey's life. Whiskey's love.
Wow, we do need to do a reading of Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life.
Oh, we should probably read that out loud at some point.
I mean,
whiskey's also soft dick every now and then, so you know.
It's the soft dick of whiskey. It really is.
The soft dick of whiskey. That sounds like something like Man Hardy would say. He says things backwards, like the chair of wheels. You never seen that?
No, I haven't seen
that. Yes, it's like there was a character he used to do it. He's a wrestler, by the way. I don't know if you guys are wrestling fans at all, but there's a wrestler that was known to speak in weird, fake old language. Like it sounds like he's trying to sound like Renaissance fair speech, but he would switch terms on purpose. Just I don't know why he thought that was interesting. So like, there's a group of wrestlers that's called the Young Bucks, and they're like the Bucks of Youth, and I'm like, what the fuck? He just switched the term. I don't know why the fuck he did that, but it was interesting. I should make a poem out of that. I agree. But yeah, the whole nice guy thing, and again, that directly connects to people that fucking stalk, because they think they're protecting the person by keeping an eye on them, and at some point it becomes. It's so easy to do nowadays, right? Like technology shit is fucking.
Technology
immense.
makes it way easy. So it's just one of those things. Just be careful. You know, if that stuff is happening, you know, you keep your friends around you, like.
And your enemies closer. Sorry, I had to finish. Word association.
Don't go after the. I don't know what the heck.
Somebody posted a picture wearing my shirt from the parade.
Oh, that's cool.
It makes me happy. Anyway.
Thank you guys, everyone who did donate for the parade. That was a little while ago.
Oh yeah, that was August something, but it was fucking. I'm still like the proudest of that fucking.
I mean,
project.
Yeah,
we have to do it again. And I know my finances are about to get significantly better by next year, so I think I'm straight up putting all the money into that. Maybe not that close.
Yeah. Don't get that close to your enemies. Arm's length, maybe a little bit further, maybe pole's length. It really depends from enemy to enemy.
What is it? I wouldn't touch it with a stolen dick. What do we got here? People in those situations tend to think themselves in terms of being a hero or a martyr or the bringer of justice, justifiable
vengeance.
Is there such thing as justifiable vengeance in your opinion?
No.
Because we don't do vengeance in the... You know, this actually brings... 9-foot pole, maybe. This actually brings to mind that lady that killed the dude. I hate to... Well, this is not political, but it's been on the news. That white lady that walked into the wrong house and shot a black dude. Killed him in his own place because she thought it was her place. And she got sentenced for something like 14, 16 years. Whereas... apparently, when a black guy killed a white guy, he got like 30-something or life. And I can't escape, like... I'm not saying that that's correct. But people are still associating the amount of years you get with how much punishment you deserve. Where we had as an understanding as a society that jail or prison is not a punishment.
It's supposed to be a rehabilitation.
Yeah, it's how long you need to get back to your to not being a monster.
Mm-hmm.
And the claim here is, in my opinion, that girl's an alcoholic, not a monster. She might actually also be a racist, and that's not fixable, I suppose. So does that mean life sentence? It's such an interesting, because again, we as a society seem to have grown to this thing like, yeah, give them, like, throw the book at them and put them in jail for as many years as you know what I mean. It's like, but it's not like, you're not supposed to be punishing. We don't, you know what I mean? The prison system is not supposed to be a punishment system. It's supposed to be how long you need to rehabilitate from that behavior. And if it's impossible to bring you back from that, that's a mental health thing, where you put it in an asylum.
Yeah.
And back to the Joker wheel.
So yeah, not everyone thinks of prison as rehabilitation. Yeah, some people think of it as penance.
Yeah, fucking religious nuts. That comes from religion. That has to come from religion.
No, I don't think so, actually.
No?
Well, if you think of things like the Code of Hammurabi, which is not necessarily religious, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. You know, so it's not necessarily religious.
That's not a vengeance thing. The eye for an eye thing was, that was more about the punishment fitting the crime, if I'm not mistaken. It had nothing to do with vengeance.
No, it was penance.
Yeah, that's
what I just said.
But yeah, it has something to do with, like, you don't like the whole, someone steals something, you cut their fucking hand off. They're like, ugh. Like, it's supposed to be a punishment that fits the crime rather than just the absurd punishment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to take a second here and go fuck with the AC because it is getting retarded hot in here, and I have a wait.
I think the AC just kicked on.
The AC just kicked on. Cool. I was about to freak out, like, dude, if the AC's not on, we're gonna die here. I'm wearing a fucking tie and shirt and vest.
Yeah, I'm wearing a t-shirt. I feel pretty okay.
Yeah, you're good. You used to be, like, much bigger and then laughed at me when I was cold. Mm-hmm. Do you get cold now?
I get a little bit more cold, but I'm still fairly well tempered.
You also used to be like a triple X on a hoodie, but you wore like a 7X or some shit.
9X, thank you.
you
they
had a
look
coat.
Really big. Yeah. I look really small.
You look tiny
now.
on those fucking hoodies. You used to have the contact juggling balls. You had 3 of them in your fucking pockets of the hoodie.
Yeah.
And nobody would, like, you could walk into the
you've seen me palm a couple.
Yeah.
Like, where it was a magic trick where I just, like, appeared a contact juggling ball, started contact juggling, because you can't see anything in that hoodie.
Yeah, no, you could have walked into a fucking, into an airplane with those things.
I did. They don't take contact juggling balls.
You can kill someone with that.
Easily. Like, you can use them, like, in that hoodie.
Take your sock off.
Not even in that hoodie. Like, I would just carry a contact juggling ball in my hoodie. If someone tries to do anything on the plane,
with the hoodie itself, right?
Yeah, I just take off my hoodie and suddenly I got a flail.
Yeah, flail, is that the term?
Yeah.
I don't know that. I thought flail meant...
No, flail is actually a medieval weapon.
No shit.
Yeah, it's a thing.
You want me to Google it? You're pointing at my computer.
Yeah, I mean, you can look...
How do you spell flail?
Flail. Flail.
That didn't seem like you sounded very certain. Oh, hound! That's the stick with the ball thing?
Yeah!
No, that's fucked up. That was a real weapon?
Yeah.
I thought that's like a...
It's a thing.
I thought that was like, cosplaying or bullshit games. No?
Nope. Oh. It's a thing.
It made me think of the weapon from, I don't know what fucking TV show it is, but it's like it looks like a bow, but it's like like a sword. That is a curved sword with like 2 handles. And it's shaped like a bow.
Interesting.
You know what?
No.
It's from a TV show. I don't know what you call it though. Can somebody, maybe Chocolate knows this? It's from a famous TV show. I don't know if it's like Star Trek or one of those.
Sword bow.
Yeah, it doesn't actually have the elastic, but it's shaped. If you looked at it, it looked like a bow. It's shaped like a D, but the thing where that would be stretchy on a bow is actually 2 handles, and the thing like that is a sword that's pointing on both sides. Like it's, I don't know.
That seems.
God damn it! How do I not know what show that's from? So I had friends that owned it and had it like fucking on their living room.
Look up sword bow.
Sword bow, I guess. I don't know. Let's see images.
Let's see if we can find this.
Yeah.
We can find an image of it.
Yeah, just to jog your memory.
Jog your memory.
Well, it's not like I actually knew the show because I don't really watch fantasy stuff. It's not my thing.
I mean, it seems incredibly impractical.
Really? I thought, you know what? I thought, remember in the new Avengers movie?
Yeah, it's more unwieldy than two sabers.
The fucking thing that the Thanos was using as a sword looked absurdly impractical. You know what I'm talking about? You see it?
Yeah.
Like Thanos' sword looked. Look at that shit.
Yeah, it is not
It's
practical.
so
at
not
all.
practical. That's such a stupid idea. God, curved double sword. Let's see if that pops up something. No.
No, not really. I'm not
No,
really.
that's not even
seeing
shaped
it.
like a bow
Yeah.
either. God damn, I don't know where this is from.
Well, you'll have to.
I'm gonna
figure it
just
out at some point.
I'm gonna do a shot in the dark here. Star Trek.
What was it?
Weapon.
Star Trek?
I'm making it up. But that's it. This thing.
Oh, that.
Oh, it's backwards. It's backwards the way I thought it was. The
backwards.
handles are on the bow part.
Yeah, I know what that is.
What is it?
That is the.
Who uses it? Oh, there's a bar. What is it called? There's a name of it.
Yeah, it's
A batleth.
Yeah, batleth.
That's a stupid weapon here. That looks retarded.
That's what you're talking
That's a
about.
hatchet. This is a
Friggin'
hatchet.
Batleth.
And a mevac. What? These are weird names.
Yeah, well, it's Star Trek.
Science fiction is weird to me. I don't understand it.
I like science fiction.
I just never got into like Star Wars and shit like that.
Star Wars is not very science fiction.
It's not science fiction?
I mean, it is science fiction. It's not just very science fiction.
No, it's biblical-ish.
I mean, yeah, it's science fiction technically, but it compared to a lot of the other science fiction that's actually out there, it's like science fiction light.
It's weird. Like I remember, for one, I watched Star Wars, all 6 of the originals. I haven't seen any of the new shit yet, but the 6 original Star Wars, I believe I watched them at age 25 or so, all of them together. Because I've been, like, I understood they were commonly referenced in TV shows and comedy and all kinds of shit, but I didn't understand it. I don't. And when I found out Mark Hamill was Star Wars, like Luke Skywalker, I'm like, wait, that's the Joker. I knew him as the Joker first. Mm-hmm. That's how
I knew him.
That's how late I was to Star Wars. I had no idea that, because people that got into the Joker at the time were like, oh, that's the guy that was Luke Skywalker, because he was Luke Skywalker in the 70s, I think, or 80s, and he was the Joker in the 90s. So there was a massive. Bye. We gotta hit the road. Like, she was watching for a little bit. But science fiction is one of those things just don't. Which, for the record, science and fiction are they're what do you call it? Opposites. It's an oxymoron, science fiction, isn't it?
Not necessarily.
Because science is the opposite of fiction. Am I incorrect?
Not direct opposites.
Not direct opposite. Well, science is a process by which we determine what's fiction and what. Yeah, so scientific and fiction. Right? Would that be more of an
that
oxymoron?
would be more of an oxymoron. Well, there are things that are scientific but still technically fiction. They could theoretically work.
They're
but
just not real yet.
They're just not real.
Time travel.
Not theoretically. I don't know much about time travel. As far as I know, you cannot travel back in time at all.
As far as you know. Well, they said that you have to pass the speed of light. And that's,
you have to go faster than the speed of
that's
light.
right now no physical thing, and we're about to go into science. Let's not do that.
All right.
I just
Here we go.
Stalking, sorry.
Let me call my dad. He knows more about
Please
that.
don't do that at 3 in the fucking morning.
He'd probably be okay with
It's
it.
2:30 probably. This is probably Apple like waiting for the next call, right? Because you guys get called in. And
Well, yeah, actually, my mom went into surgery, and
Whoa,
so
what the fuck?
It's minor surgery.
Oh, okay.
It's minor stuff, and so he's probably dealing with that. So he might be up. I don't know.
I think science fiction would be most aptly called technological fiction, but good luck getting people to call it that. Yeah, well, there's a thing. I have a problem with
It's got to be
tradition.
catchy. It's got to be catchy.
I have a problem with tradition. I recently had a conversation about. So again, some dude posted something like, "Imagine coming home to this, and it's like a bath with a bunch of rose petals all over the floor and shit." And my first reaction was like, "And who's gonna clean up that fucking mess?"
That would be my. I would
And
be
then,
like, really, like.
I never understood romanticizing dead fucking plants. I don't understand why people want.
I always thought it was because they made it smell nice.
But put them in the water then, not on the floor.
I mean, I don't get the floor thing, honestly. Like
That's
the whole
so
like
trail
person
of
laying in a thing of rose beds, like rose petals. I'm like, yeah, dude.
Would you fuck on a bed covered with petals? Fuck that.
I would be afraid I'd
They'd
get a
be
rose petal
everywhere.
up my ass.
That.
Like I would be legitimately afraid. I'd
Dude,
sit
what
down
if
and
like
then
mid-hump
just.
one of those touches your dick and you just fucking jam that shit into their vagina or asshole, whatever you're fucking
That
at the time.
that sounds pretty sexy, honestly. Though I think I might
Oh.
actually start doing that. Thank you. I've always wanted to shit rose petals. It's just been it's a fantasy of mine. So.
It might smell better for a second.
I mean, yeah. If you shit rose petals, does it make your shit smell better? Like,
Oh my god, I have no idea. That's so weird. We took a tangent.
never thought I had a romantic bone in my body, but I'm sitting here. Yeah, it's fair. I mean, the thing is like, I mean, if you really wanted to smell nice, though, I guess you just buy some potpourri and then just like, you know, just lay it out in some
By the way,
bowls.
what do you think of those sprays that you like that you
But
spray? on-
potpourri?
Yeah.
Yeah, it works. It works. I use it.
I know. I remember
'Cause my
finding a
yeah.
website selling pills that will make you poop gold. That will coat.
Really?
That would coat your lower intestine, and like gold flakes. So
Oh
when you take
man,
a
that's
shit,
what I want. I want to take a royal shit.
royal shit. I
Literally,
bet you.
so
I bet
so
you
chocolate is definitely dogging on us. Let it go and enjoy the gesture. Yeah.
Oh god.
I mean, like,
what are we doing?
I mean, I understand like lighting some candles, like doing some nice things.
Candles make sense because they smell good and
They smell good.
like low lighting is is
You know.
inherently relaxing, right? So I would do something by like candlelight because it's an interesting lighting for like sex or
So apparently,
a
rose
particular
petals
movie.
look good. That's the point of them.
Can we get fake ones though? I don't even understand the whole dead plant thing. George Carlin was bitching about how like roses are like the biggest ripoff. Everything else that you buy, if it dies within 2 weeks, you take that shit back and go give my money back. But plants are totally fine to buy, knowing they will die in a couple of days, and you're just throwing money away at that shit. There's a whole business selling you plants that are about to die, and they're only good for long enough in the market. It's weird, right? Well, I guess that's not the only one because you can still buy vegetables and shit. They also go bad. Milk.
Yeah, but you can eat vegetables. I mean, you could technically eat roses too.
There's
but-
value to it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically.
That was wasn't that part of the plot on the that old shitty movie? I forgot what it's called. What the plant eats people.
The plant eat. Oh, are you talking about a Little Shop of Horrors?
Horror, yeah, that.
Yeah.
I started watching the original the other day. It's from like the 60s or 70s. It's
Yeah,
fucking
it's old.
And one of the plot points is that one guy like is really into eating plants, and he's a connoisseur of plants. And then that dude is breathing when plant. I never finished it. I got really boring. Can you imagine looking at some flowers and thinking, yeah, I'm gonna fear these fuckers. I'm gonna tear these fuckers up and.
It'll be romantic and sexy as heck. Yeah.
Fuck the flowers. Hashtag fuck the flowers. I like that it has the same ring as fight the power.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck the flowers. That's a good shirt too. Fuck the flowers. I don't
That's
care.
lots of good shirts today.
Flowers
Lots
are
of good
stupid.
shirts.
I don't understand flowers. Like, and I giving them away because I understand that's like a
gesture.
It's a gesture for like dates. People appreciate them. But I still don't understand it.
I've been given flowers on several occasions by some lovely
youngly love ladies.
Yeah, it was not ladies.
Youngly, well, love ladies. I was switching the
Lovely
first letter,
young-
but the
lovely
first letter
young
of
men.
ladies and love is the same letter, so I couldn't get the switch going. I'm sorry, I'm tired.
Yeah, it's a little late today.
A little bit.
You know,
it's 2:42. I can't believe we still had comments on the fucking podcast. I didn't think anybody watched this shit live that much.
Apparently, this is good. This is good optics for us.
It's an unpredictable podcast anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter. We can probably air at any point we feel like. I know, like that Joe Rogan podcast. He just whenever he's free, and he will just air shit for like 4 fucking hours talking nonsense. That's kind of what I dream for. Like, imagine having no life.
Nothing
Well,
live.
you need to have a life to have the conversations that we have, right?
I mean, I
Because we
guess,
experience things, and that's what we talk about them. If we legitimately had no job and nothing to do but the podcast, we'd run out of material pretty soon because we have nothing else to talk about after a while.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I could probably talk about philosophy for...
Hey, Chance, how you doing? Thank you for joining.
Probably talk about philosophy for 9 million years. I still need my Plato book back.
Fuck you. I'm going to get it right fucking now.
Finish the podcast.
No, fuck
Finish
your
the podcast.
You're going to be a bitch about it.
I just wanted my book back.
Entertain your people.
Entertain my people. Oh, so how's everyone doing today? Yeah, he just left. And yeah, thank you very much for listening. If you're listening on the toilet, I hope you have a good shit. And yeah, it's So yeah, apparently flowers are an aesthetic thing, making or growing something beautiful that will disappear. I sort of get it. I like the look of... The thing is, like, I like the look of a lot of flowers in one place, though. Like... I mean, yeah... Oh, good. My Plato book.
No, I have to drop it rudely. Hold on.
Yeah, don't hurt the mics. Thanks for that.
There's your fucking Plato book.
Oh, sweet.
I had to drop it in the most rude way possible. Fuck your podcast.
Oh, I have a Magic the Gathering thing.
That proves to you that I have not opened that fucking book since you left it here.
You haven't opened this up. This is old too. It's one of my older books.
Yeah, you let me borrow that book a long time ago. You had a particular chapter. Would you like to just drop me something from there? Because I'm never gonna read it.
Shit, not right now.
Why not? Like,
I need to like read
that
through
particular
it.
line that you had in mind for me.
Yeah, I probably just lost the page. Actually,
had a
I
fucking
had,
card
I
right
had
on
a
it.
card on it, and I just. Oh, was it in Republic? I don't remember. I'll have to go through it again.
What is what is the best thing you can kind of quote about Plato?
About Plato?
Yeah.
Well, this is where we get most of our stuff about Socrates, actually.
That doesn't help me in any way.
Well, okay, so Plato and Socrates and all this other stuff are philosophers, right? So these are old Greek philosophers, so, pre-Bible. Yeah, so...
Is that the correct way of saying that?
I mean, that's what I call it.
That's what I call it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, pre-Bible stuff, so there are...
I'm sorry.
I get a lot of things that are like, what do you do about morality, if you don't get it from the Bible? I'm like, well, we have a lovely book
Do you find morality
that has things that you can do. Well, more specifically, it proves that you don't need the Bible for it. You don't need the Bible for your morality.
The thing is,
there was morality before it.
yeah, I believe Penn Jillette said it best. Is like when you say the Bible is good, you are using an outside system to judge the Bible as good. So use that code to judge everything else and not use the Bible for that.
What's the conversation today? Well, we have several ones, actually.
We're talking about morality in the Bible right now. That's the tangent that would just... Because he has a Plato book that is, according to him, a better source of morality than the Bible. You want to just stand it up here?
I didn't say it was better. I was saying that it is a proof that
you can find morality outside of the Bible.
Morality outside of it.
Yeah. Well, and there was the golden rule was before the Bible.
There's so
That's
much
from
shit
the
that's
previous
before
religion,
the Bible.
right? The whole treat others the way you want to be treated.
I mean, if you look at stuff like Zoroastrianism, they have all sorts of texts and things that are still around that people still use. So, like, you don't need it, and there are better places to get morality than just the Bible. And matter of fact, most people don't even get their morality from the Bible. They get their morality from the people talking about
the people that read the Bible. Yeah. I think I saw a thing. It said Bertrand Russell, but I actually can't remember if Bertrand Russell ever said that. But it says atheism is what happens when you read the Bible. Christianity is what happens when somebody else read the Bible to you.
Yeah.
And it said Bertrand Russell, and it sounds like something he'd say, but I can never be sure. I know George Carlin quotes. I will straight up say that's not a Carlin quote. Because I have read and heard everything by Carlin there is. And that dude made a bunch of materials. Not only have I heard all of his 14 specials, I've read all his books. And I've listened to every interview I could find my hands on. George Carlin had this weird perspective in life that it fascinated me, so I kept looking for it. And at some point, I realized that if I look for George Carlin, I could go down the list and know that I've seen every single one of those fucking interviews. And there wasn't a reason, like I was excited when they released the Lost album. George Carlin had for those of you who don't know this is an interesting piece of information. That George Carlin was working on a comedy special the day before September 11, and when that happened, he trashed it. He just kept it on the shelf. He was like, I can't release this because he had a joke about he had a joke about farts in airplanes piling up on the back and exploding, and people blaming Osama bin Laden. That was a joke in that particular special. So he's like, there is no fucking way I can work on this special now. So he remade it, and if you see the first special he did right after 9/11, it was months after 9/11 that he released a new special. He starts to like, I have to change, like I have to talk about the big elephant in the room, because otherwise it's like the party where there's a turd on the punch bowl and nobody says a fucking thing. It's a lovely party, but there's a turd on the punch bowl. It's amazing how specifically I can quote George Carlin, but like when that fucking they released the album that he had worked on right before that, and I was just blown away at the fact that it exists. Like there's still shit that you can find. And didn't they like release Beatles shit way after they're not?
Oh yeah.
That's also a thing. Michael Jackson also had a bunch of shit he just kind of shelved, and then later on gets released. I fucking love shit like that. Sorry about that. You totally had a thing about
I mean, it was a good segue. It was a good segue.
George Carlin is a great. He's my intro. He's on the intro of this. So there's a little George Carlin in this fucking podcast as an inspiration. Which at some point we really should expand on each person that's in the intro of this podcast.
Yeah, we can do that.
Because Stephen Fry is one that I don't actually know a whole lot about. I know that he's one of your inspirations. Captain Disillusion is something that we definitely have to advertise a little more.
Yeah, Captain Disillusion. I mean, Hitchens is in there, obviously.
Yeah, there's like 3 different Jokers in there.
Yeah, that's a lot of you.
Yeah, that's totally all me. The last bit of the intro is me. It's specifically like Joker, Crow, Mask, and George Carlin. That's definitely me. And then I added a whole nother chunk where I was thinking of things that inspired both of us. And it's a 2-part intro. It was a weird project, and I haven't bothered with changing it. We should probably work on a new, like, I don't know. What episode do you think we should introduce a new?
50.
50. So after the episode negative 49,
yeah, we'll have
the episode 50. We'll have a completely new intro.
By the way, we're keeping the anticipation thing because that's hilarious.
Yeah, that was totally your thing of throwing that, and I just thought that because I put philosophers and funny people, but we talk a lot about sexuality, and I'm like, Rocky Horror is probably the best thing to throw.
Rocky Horror, it's kind of like a lot of people's intro
Awakening.
to that sort of alternative thing. Like they're like, oh, well, we're gonna watch Rocky Horror, and you think to yourself, oh, what is that?
It doesn't tell you what it is by the title.
No.
It just doesn't.
And you heard that it was crazy and great, and it, you look at it like, wait, people can do these things? Like, what the heck is going on? Why is everything so sexual? And
And I think that's a lot of people's introduction to like homosexuality, transvestite, transgender.
All
There's
of it.
so much openness in that movie that inspired people to kind of guide their life in a completely different direction after they saw it. Good night. Thank you for joining. But I was actually interested when they did the remake. They changed the character, the main guy, Dr.
Frankenfurter.
Yeah, if you know how to say it. They changed because his character, even in the song, says I'm a sweet transvestite, and they put a transgender woman as that role, which, in my opinion, is incorrect, right? Because a transvestite is a male who dresses as a female. For sexual particular is this specific reason transvestite, and I can probably Google the definition real quick just to be completely correct. Ooh, I just clicked something.
Rip, you clicked something. Oh, you're ordering. Well, you now have a phaser from
I'm
Star
about to order
Trek.
a
Now you have a phaser from Star Trek. We're gonna put it on the podcast next week.
I'm the proud owner of a weapon I don't know how to pronounce.
What phaser?
Yeah, I don't think. What am I trying?
Yeah, that's a one way to spell,
Shut the fuck up. I'm tired. This is okay. Transvestite.
Transvestite.
Yeah. A person, typically a man, typically. That makes me question so much now. Why typically?
I mean, well, no,
A
because
transvestite,
so keep reading.
a person
keep reading.
who typically a man who derives pleasure from dressing in the clothes primarily associated with the opposite sex.
Yeah, so it could
So
be...
it is for sexual reasons.
Yeah.
Someone who's a transvestite, someone who typically a male dresses as the opposite. So does that mean it's also possible to be a transvestite if you're a female who dresses as a male for sexual pleasure? Derives... Well, it doesn't say sexual, does it? I just assume. It says derives pleasure from dressing in the clothes primarily associated with the opposite sex. So pleasure could also be just for fun.
Yeah.
So a
Just for any
cosplayer that does like a gender, what do you call gender bender, like a female Joker or a male Harley Quinn, would be a transvestite because they're deriving pleasure from doing that. As long as they're enjoying it.
As long as they're enjoying
because
it.
you've dressed as a female before. I've seen you in
yeah,
drag.
so many times.
And
you've seen me dress up in drag.
You said it was your mom's bra or something.
Yeah, it was my mom's bra.
Fantastic.
I wear my mom's bra when I do drag.
Hi, Mom. So that's technically a transvestite because you see, again, if you were, think of Rudy Giuliani dressed as a female. Do you ever see that video? That dude was not getting pleasure out of this.
No, I don't think so.
That dude looked embarrassed as fuck to do that. That's not a transvestite, is it? Because he's not getting pleasure from dressing as him. You don't want to participate in this conversation, do you?
No, I'm down.
You look uncomfortable.
I am uncomfortable, and I'm loving every minute of it.
I found the thing. I found the thing that can make you uncomfortable.
Oh, you make me uncomfortable a lot. I just don't normally show it.
How?
Whenever you put your hand on my knee and you whisper soft nothings into my ear.
I don't do that. You're trying to trick me into doing it, you asshole. I would say you're primarily a transvestite if you do so often. It doesn't say anything about habit. Who derives pleasure from dressing in clothes primarily associated with the opposite sex. I don't. Well, first of all, you're welcome. I had to. I just read a definition. I think we should do that every time we look at definitions.
Look up a definition.
For the record, it is my personal opinion that most debates could be resolved by looking at the definition of a word. Do you know that?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense though. Like a lot of people is just miscommunication about definitions. Granted, what we define as the taken definitions of things, they change.
Well, and then the other thing, what's the what would you consider to be the ultimate solution to a definition? Because I know people that you will Google a definition, it will contradict their belief, and they go, well, that definition's incorrect. How do you argue with that?
I mean, you really don't. It's just a straight up denial, honestly. But it also depends on the.
Is it impossible that a common usage of a word does not match the definition that you find on a dictionary?
Well, yeah. So everything is based on what we define it as, right? So everyone, when you have a word, that word has technically a different meaning, or more specifically, you cannot know the meaning of the other person when they use it, unless you put it in context. Right? So the words themselves, we give the meaning to those words. Now we agree on a lot of the different meanings, right? So to us, we typically try and put things in other places so that we can seek the meanings from these places. So we're looking up transvestite on Google so that we have a third party defining what it is so that we can converse on it.
Yeah, and it's coming from origin, translations, word origin, and more definite. The origin of the word transvestite. No, that's not useful. But you would agree, like a transvestite, it can't be a transgender, can it? Because that's a woman dressed as a woman.
I mean, how about this? Yeah, but if a transgender person would would actually dress like a man, then it would also be transvestite.
It hadn't occurred to me, and this is something that I've seen this discussion about. That's a transvestite person. I mean, a transgender person playing a transvestite on a show because she still sort of has some male-ish qualities. So you could buy that's still a guy dressed as a female. This is something that I completely forgotten. There was a comedian, I think it was Bill Burr, that said something like, it's rude for this actor, I think it was, oh god, there was an actor specifically, that like, it's rude that that actor played a paraplegic when he's not. And it's like, that's why it's called acting. Because if you got a paraplegic to go and act paraplegic, that's not acting, he's just being what he's doing. But acting means...
Yeah, doing that. Well, I mean, if you remember Johnny Depp in what's got Gilbert Grape, I think Gilbert a Grape or something, where he plays a mentally disabled person, and he got like an Academy Award or something like that for it. It was really good. It was a really good movie, and you should watch it. I don't remember the exact title, unfortunately. I saw it way back when. But I think people got on him for that, and he was like, well, I mean, I did all my research. I did as much work as I possibly could. Like,
but imagine if, like, somebody got mad at the Joker of Joaquin Phoenix for not being an actual mentally deranged person. That whole laughter...
yeah, What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Yeah.
I never heard of that.
It's a good movie.
I'll look into it.
Johnny Depp, it's good.
But yeah, like, the Joker, that character personalization of someone who's mentally ill. Which... they still kind of tiptoe over whether or not he actually is mentally ill.
We shouldn't talk about that too much.
Okay, but imagine if he got backlash because he's not actually, because that's an actual disorder. The whole laughing thing is an actual disorder, and if like that actor doesn't have it, this is something somebody said like, well, why didn't they get an actual serial killer to play that serial killer on that show? Like, I know that guy's not an actual killer. Why did they kill that guy and he comes out in another fucking show? Because he's not a real dead guy. Didn't play the dead guy. It's kind of silly, right? To pretend that you're supposed to play.
Every single season of CSI just kills off its lead.
House.
So.
If you ever rewatch House, there are so many startup actors that make cameos as sick people or dying people or dead people, and now they're famous actors. They didn't have a name for themselves at the time, but now they do. Speaking of which, Key and Peele. Key and Peele, their first appearance in a famous thing was White and Nerdy by Weird Al.
Yeah, White and Nerdy by Weird Al.
The gangsters at the beginning. Yep. But nobody knew who they were.
Yep.
They're just the two typical black guys. They're comedy guys, so they're they're stand-up guys. But they played these gangsters in the White and Nerdy music video.
Weird Al needs to come out with another album.
I agree, and if he tours, which by the way, the Jay and Silent Bob reboot movie is touring, and they're gonna be in Austin, like where they have like a tour, like they go around and watch the movie with the fans, and then have like a Q&A afterwards. Would that interest you at all?
Maybe.
Jay and Silent Bob are they're not inspirations, but Kevin Smith is. I love his movies. Yeah. I don't think I'd have any questions for him. Although I will say that I did start the podcast because in one of his shows he said, if you have anything interesting to say, you should totally start a podcast. And I have a few interesting things to say.
I have absolutely nothing interesting to say.
You're wrong. You're more, in this podcast, you're the educational, I'm the random nonsense guy.
I'm not even that educational.
But you know more than I do, and you do your research when you have something interesting in mind.
Typically.
You actually
I try to.
Google sources and shit. I do it on the spot. I don't prepare for this podcast.
I mean, that's fair.
When you have a problem with a definition, I look up the definition and like, oh, that's what I'm wrong about.
I mean, shoot, I didn't know if Tim Curry was still alive.
I know, we both found, which means... Oh, it didn't work.
It didn't work.
It's not working.
It's dead. You killed it. Congratulations. You killed knowledge.
Son of a bitch. All right. We lost the little animation for the now you know. It's no longer working. He needs to go get a cybernetic ass replacement. Ass replacement? What good would that do? Oh, you mean album? Oh my god, that was a dad joke right there.
Did it hurt you a little? It hurt me a little.
Why is Chocolate making dad jokes? I'm the dad here.
Why do you keep reading these comments? You know it's going to just bring pain. It will just bring you pain.
That's what they said about dating.
Yeah, they were kind of right, weren't they?
Yeah, that's something I always say. 'Cause I know a lot of people that have been through a breakup or something, and they're like, I'm afraid to put myself out there because, all you do is get hurt. And I'm like, George Carlin. What are you gonna do? Read people make a scene and you know Wendy's till the end of time? Take a fucking chance once in a while.
I mean, yeah, I mean that's fair. Like
he was talking about the airplane security,
Yeah.
but it's like, what? You just gonna do nothing and just be a boring ass? Like, well, take a chance, man. Every now and then you have to lose. It's part of the gambling. It's
part of the game.
It's a zero sum game. You
To be
win
fair,
some, you lose some.
I mean, I've hit it pretty well so far, so you know things are going all right. You get hurt, you win some, you lose some.
I mean, you nearly died and then forgot a few years out of your life, so you got a few downs out of it.
I mean, there's some downs there, you know.
You just don't remember that.
I just don't remember it, you know.
But I mean, it's one of those, you know, like polyamories, and like, because you don't really stop yourself from falling for someone. Is if you're interested, you pursue it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And technically, that means that you take more chances than most people would, right? Because even in the middle of something, you're still trying something else, and you get hurt a lot. It happens, but it's the price of it, right? How do you say, like, you gotta spend money to make money? You have break some eggs. I don't know. What's the best way of?
I mean, you got to spend money to make money is one of my favorites.
Yeah, except it has nothing to do with polyamory.
It does not have anything to do with
it doesn't really
polyamory. To make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs.
Yeah, that's a common one. I don't know, but it's one of those. Yes, I think that the thing is that if you don't, what is it called? If you live an entirely happy life, you don't appreciate the good parts. Wait, no, is that the way I said it?
I don't know. All I can think about is Bob Ross talking about, you know,
happy little tree, a little accident.
Well, actually, it was more like after his wife died, he did an episode of the Joy of Painting where he talks about, you know, darks and lights and how you need a little bit of darkness to know when the good times come around.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
and
can't rain all the time.
And so that's all I can think about. You know, Bob Ross, Joy of Painting. Obviously, everyone here should probably know who that. There's an inspiration, Bob Ross.
Yeah, that's a good one. We should probably put him in the intro for no reason.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely no reason.
For the next intro, we gotta make a list of characters, and I'll start looking at some clips.
Dude, I love Bob Ross. You know they do that on Twitch.
Because I feel
they play like the Joy of Painting on Twitch
just to watch.
Yeah, and I watch it all the time. Like I'll be doing shit.
Didn't he like make no money off of that show? I think there was something.
Yeah, he made no money off of that, but he made a crap ton of money off of his other stuff. So, you know,
probably merchandising the shit out of that.
Oh yeah, he had all sorts of. He was a accomplished painter before that, and
okay, and he was like an army dude too, so he was doing it for.
He left because he didn't like yelling at people.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, can you imagine Bob Ross yelling at someone?
I'm not sure I would do it for a living. That's not my thing either.
I could probably do it for a little bit, but yeah, it'd kind of wear on me. I can yell, I just don't.
You get what you fucking deserve. Sorry about that. Well, no, I don't have to be sorry, right? I don't have to explain what I just said.
Nope, you don't have to explain what you just said.
I was actually watching Ready Player One. Have you seen that? It's a beautiful movie. It still kind of gets to me because at the end he quotes Groucho Marx, oddly enough. But it's like as terrifying and painful as reality is, still the only place you can get a decent meal. That's such a weird perspective in the world. I'm like, I was, who was it? It was something like people that are like miserable and hate. There's like, you know, you live in a world where like sex and chocolate exists. You know,
I mean, it can't be all bad.
And there's so many awesome things.
I like how most of those were food except for sex.
Sex is food. Food is sex. Sex is food.
Yeah, it's definitely something that, you know.
You never eaten someone?
I mean, that one time, we don't get to talk about that on the podcast.
We can't admit to it online. I hear it's stupid to admit to crimes while a camera's pointing at you. But
I mean, I have eaten people. I've eaten myself.
You know, nice. You know, what was it? What would resolve a lot of the problems on the TV right now? You know, the news is the definition of crime, the definition of treason, the definition of stupid.
Well, I thought we weren't getting political.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. I was just talking about definitions, how that would change so many things if people just agreed to a definition.
Yeah,
that would solve so many problems. I mean, people don't like thesaurus. Is that the
what was that word?
A thesaurus? Thesaurus is the original. There's a different word for dictionary. You don't know that?
Thesaurus?
A thesaurus. I read it in my head and I'm like, I'm Mexican. I can't.
That's how you
Thesaurus.
said thesaurus?
Thesaurus. I've heard it pronounced by different people of different
Thesaurus?
countries. So I've heard it in different ways, and I used one of them, but I'm not sure if that's correct because it was it was an Australian saying it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't think that's the correct way of saying it either, but that's the only one I remember.
I was like, what was that word?
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I said it wrong too. God damn it. Fuck this podcast. Fuck Plato too.
Just hand me the book. Okay, I'll look in
I was going to throw it across the but if I hit the camera, I'm going to be pissed.
This is just a nice, good thesaurus of Plato's work.
Give me a lecture. Something that you
Something
you
great.
learned from
All
Plato.
right. This is the kind of city. There you go.
What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
Give me something you've learned by reading that book.
Oh, some of the stuff that I've learned.
Okay,
I mean,
I'll
so a lot of the stuff. Well, the thing is that a lot of the stuff is old, so you use this as kind of like a gateway.
So it's things that most people already understand.
Well, I mean, when you read it, he poses a lot of questions on various other things. Like he has things like on justice, on virtue, right? That other philosophers have done. But this is kind of like the gateway. These are the first. They're not necessarily the first thoughts on this, but this is a good.
So a lot of philosophers started reading this.
Yeah, you start
build
here.
from there.
Yeah, you
So it's
start
like Nietzsche,
here.
one of the guys that read from.
Nietzsche.
Because that dude.
That dude is quite dark. Nietzsche or Nietzsche, whatever you pronounce his name.
Nietzsche, yeah. Quick question: are we philosophers?
Everyone's a philosopher.
Because what is it? No, that's not true at all.
Everyone tries to be a philosopher.
No, even that's not the case. There's so many people that don't. They follow a pattern in the world without ever questioning it, and I believe that's the basis of a philosopher. You question your place before you act on it.
Well, I
And
mean,
so many people just kind of follow.
sort of, but you can also have a philosophy about following the norm.
But that's
Because
not.
you can also just
I thought a
analyze.
philosopher. Let's agree on philosopher. Hold on. What's a philosopher? Oh, I don't know how to spell philosopher.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's close enough.
Philosopher.
I misspelled it completely, but a person engaged or learned in philosophy, especially in an academic discipline.
Wow, that is not useful at all.
No.
That doesn't describe anything. Yeah, so
Engaged or learned. Well, engaged is a thing. Again, not everybody engages in philosophy. They might have one, but that's not engaging in it. Right?
yeah. Well, the thing is, like,
So
you
you
could
live
also
in by
just
a
make
particular-
observations without necessarily questioning.
Oh shit, we're running out of time.
Yeah,
we ran out of time.
We
Sorry.
ran out of time. Yeah,
I-
we're
I-
out of time.
I
We can
didn't
talk
look at
about
the-
philosophy later. Again, I can go
No,
on.
let's start the next episode right now. We cut it into pieces now. Fucking, it's fucking 3 a.m. This is absurd.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Sorry for the rambling. Actually, it's a pretty decent podcast.
It was all right.
We followed our own thoughts where they led.
It was kind of shit out of 10, but you know.
Shit out of 10. It'll be fine. Thank you guys for listening tonight. You and whoever tuned live, I'm amazed that people are watching this shit live at 2 a.m. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Next time, if you guys want to join the conversation, we should be live next Thursday at 11:30 p.m. More information on freakingdeviant.com. If you want to join the conversation, watch live on Twitch, YouTube, or send us an email, freakingdeviant@gmail.com. Anything you want to...
No, that's it.
All right, my name is Spider.
And I'm Alexander.
And we're here to remind you that life is chaos.
And nothing is sacred. Bye, guys.
I don't believe I stopped it. Stop streaming.